Welcome to the PTA Real Estate Podcast. I'm your host, John Calageri, accompanied by my co-host, Nick Kelling. Nick, how you doing today?
Howdy, I'm doing great.
Um, just a little background. I know the title, Nick Kelling bought a home. So Nick, this is your new studio. Congratulations. We did
Thank
have
you.
a little bit, little for the people. We did have a little bit of a technical difficulties. Um, some people's setup is different than other people's setup, but I'm just happy that we can have Nick in the studio. Nick, welcome. It's been a while. Tell the
It
people what
has
you've
been a
been
while.
on. It's been a minute.
Well, yeah, there was this huge storm in Houston. I think some people have probably know about it. Internet was down, power was down, and all that stuff. And then we bought a house right before that, and we needed to set up Wi-Fi and all these things, and they were all delayed by weeks. So it took probably 3 weeks just for the internet guy to come here, the energy company to come out here and just get everything settled. We were having some hiccups with buying a house, so I didn't want to pull the trigger too soon, but definitely should have pulled the trigger sooner on my power, Wi-Fi, and all that stuff. But the worst thing is that the banks call you up, tell you that, hey, we can't go through with the loan, and you already got everything ready to go. So we postponed on that a little bit until after we closed, but then that storm hit and just delayed us by an extra 2 weeks. So I had no Wi-Fi, couldn't do the podcast.
Yes.
Yeah, so
Nick was, as we like to say on the East Coast, because I'm Jersey Shore based, Nick is in the Stone Age because he lives in that trash ass state of Tejas. But Nick, congratulations on purchasing a home. Can you break it down for the people, like the process, what kind of spurned it? Kind of break down the deal for the people, because this is the first real estate purchase by either one of us since we started the pod.
Yeah, it was pretty easy. Everything rolls pretty smooth when you know what to do or you're with someone that knows what they're doing. That's why if you're thinking about buying a house, even if you're not in the Houston area, contact me. I can hook you up with someone. I've talked to people all around the country. I can definitely hook you up with someone that knows what they're doing. So personally, I definitely felt the stress of looking for a house for myself, but also knowing the process, looking at a bunch of houses, be like, oh, this house just hit the market. We have this budget in mind. I know there's going to be multiple offers coming in. We're going to send our offer, but hey, this isn't going to be the sale price. I ran the comps on a few houses, and it was like, yeah, this house is priced really good. They're doing that for a reason. We're going to send our offer in, and there's going to be multiple people. And then it just got bid up higher to what we wanted to pay for. So we just quickly moved on. We didn't waste any time. A lot of people, when they go through this process, especially for the first time, they want to stick with it. They want to bid up. They want to try to squeeze. No, just move on, save the money. We have a cap limit that we want to spend on a house. And with our price point in the area that we were looking in, there was a lot of bad flippers. The whole paint gun, and to spray the cabinets, and all, definitely saw a few of those houses in some of the neighborhoods we were looking in.
Is that
and we just immediately
Is that common, Houston? Just a shoddy, just spray everything down, flip it as quickly as possible?
Oh yeah, 100%. 100%. It's such a huge city, and there's a lot of old houses that need to be flipped. Even in the neighborhood that I'm in, I'm like driving down the street. I'm like, there could be some good flippers here if we could buy at the right price. Or this house actually went to auction, and the dude bought it from auction, but he also did a really good job. We did the inspection, which is super important. Once you have an offer accepted, make sure you do an inspection. There was some problems with the house. We identified some problems that we found out about that wasn't on inspections. Inspectors aren't perfect. They're human beings. So there's definitely going to be a few things. And, you just got to, especially this house was built in the 70s. So there's just going to be some of those problems.
It's a brand new house.
Oh, yeah.
My house was built in 46, baby. Baby boomer.
Still got that lead paint.
Baby boomer, yeah. So is this like a rental property? Is it between you and your wife, or like what was like the purpose of this home? You're gonna rent out a room? Like what's the plan of attack? What's your method?
So we use a VA home loan, and as you know, as a banker, to not commit fraud, you have to live in it for at least 1 year. So we're going to live in 1 year. We bought mortgage points. Our interest rates are a little lower, which I use my commission to pay for some of it. And concessions, there's only so many concessions that the seller can give to you. And so we had the seller fix a bunch of things because I knew my concessions were going to be pretty close. Because because the seller, when the banks run their numbers, if I'm using my commission as part of my down payment or to pay for closing costs, that counts as concessions, not commission, as a real estate agent.
Can you explain the difference between concessions and commissions for the listeners?
Yeah, so most transactions, there's two real estate agents, a buyer and a seller, and these are all different people, right? But when a real estate agent buys a house, the buyer and the seller, and the buyer and the buyer's agent's the same person, right? And I could collect my commission at the title company. Now I have to pay taxes on that money, even if I buy my own house. I still have to pay taxes on my commission, and then I still have to pay all the closing costs, my down payment, and all that stuff that I want to put down. Or what you can do is get your commission tax free and just put that towards your closing costs, your down payment, mortgage points, what I bought. But then that doesn't count as commission; it counts as concessions. And with this new NAR lawsuit and all that stuff, things are being changed up a lot. So I haven't had a transaction with this new laws and all that stuff that's being well, not laws, but process of just the small little stuff like concessions versus commissions and all that stuff. So the seller technically gave me as a buyer concessions and not paid me commission. So they paid me in concessions.
Basically just done on closing costs instead of giving you cash.
Yep, exactly. So the money goes. Correctly. Yep.
Can you break down what is closing costs for the people?
So closing costs, you're paying the bank to find you that loan, to originate that loan. You're paying the title company fees. If you're getting your survey done, and if the buyer's paying the survey or the seller's paying the survey, that's all lumped in to your closing costs. Taxes that you still need to pay, your insurance, because you pay insurance up front. So taxes is in the rears. Insurance, you're paying that whole year in advance. So insurance is a huge part of your closing costs because you're paying a whole year of insurance on day one. And usually in the state of Texas here, I'm pretty sure it's pretty much everywhere too. So you pay the 12 months because you have to pay that in advance. You pay a whole year of insurance up front, and then you pay 3 months into escrow.
Okay.
So you're paying 15 months of insurance on day zero.
Hey, at least you know that if any Ginzos come down and burn down the house.
Yep, you're good. And then your monthly payment
Italiano,
that you're paying, yeah, and then your monthly payment that you're paying into each month. Some of that money it's your loan, your principal and interest, your taxes, and insurance. So you're building up that little nest egg kind of for insurance. So when it comes to 1 year, boom, you have enough money that escrow then pays for insurance for that upcoming year.
Okay. So what was kind of like the method of this house? Did you just want to buy a house, or are you doing a house hacking strategy? What's kind of your methodology for this purchase?
So right now we're not getting any renters in. It's just going to be me, my wife, and I. I'm fixing up some of the problems, like some of the doors are pretty old. There wasn't any gutters. Usually flippers don't put gutters on houses, apparently. Like, this is a common trend. If you buy a flipper, for some reason, they never put gutters on.
Cost saving. What is a gutter's probably $7,000. You just save $7,000.
Yeah, labor if you task it out, if you sub it out. But if you do it yourself, I mean, you can just go to Lowe's. It's like $12 for 10 feet of gutter. It's really not that bad. So I had to do some of it myself. I just put up some gutters the other day.
Damn.
Change out the doors.
Next, get a blue collar on us now.
Yep. And just some little stuff. I just found out that the flipper painted the tub This is pretty common that the tub will be kind of yellow just because it's old and stuff. So flippers will just paint it white, so it's pretty bright, but that shit peels off immediately. It's just like, oh, look at this brand new bathroom. Oh, look how white everything is. Like, yeah, but that paint's gonna scrape off in matters of weeks once you have to start using it.
I just like you're pointing out some common trends of you saying flippers are just spraying stuff down. They're not putting gutters on. They're painting tubs and appealing. Would you say that's indicative that we're going through a little bit? We're on the precipice of a financial on a real estate collapse, or do you think has that has always been Houston? Because you can't get away with that in New Jersey. You can't get away with that in Illinois.
I would say it's pretty.
I've
common.
never heard of like I've lived in a handful of places, but I've never heard of someone not putting gutters on a home before. That's just cheap and lazy.
That's pretty. Yeah, I mean that's pretty countrywide.
That's just Texas. That's just Texas.
No, I would say that's countrywide with a lot of these things. Now each flipper is going to be a little bit different. I'm just saying these are some of the common trends. If you go on Facebook, you look at
what do
videos,
those trends mean to you, Nick? Honestly, what do those trends mean to you? Because I hear those trends and I hear people are cutting quarters, people getting lazy. That's what happens when a bubble is. There's high inflation and people just trying to inch out every dollar before it collapses. When I hear those lazy ass trends, that is what I hear. That is what I envision. What is your opinion?
No, yeah, I mean it's just you know what to look for. So when you go in with your realtor, you're looking for a house. You're like, all right, these are some of the trends that are going on right now, or just industry kind of standards. But I know flippers are just going to be lazy on. So when you're going around the house, you're like, oh, yep, two of the sides of the house don't have gutters for some reason. Oh, when I'm in option period, I'm going to tell that flipper that they have to put them up, or they're going to pay me $2,000 because I'm going to do it myself. So you can do that while you're in the option period. So pointing those things out, taking notes of a house, like, oh, this is deficient, this is deficient, this is deficient. So when you're in the option period and you have a contract signed, you can then ask for money or them to fix it.
Okay.
That's why it's important to get your inspection. It's important to know these common trends so then you can try to fix that before you close on it. And that's what we did. We had some water heater issues that the flipper fixed. We had some roof problems. There was a cracked supporting beam. He fixed that. He tried to, get away with it. That's why you need a real estate agent knows what they're doing. And you need to watch this podcast to understand exactly what are some trends people are lazy about, because you got to identify it, point it out, and get money or get them to fix it. That is super important.
So can you break down what are the lazy ass trends that flippers are doing right now?
Yeah. So the gutters.
Maybe three.
Gutters, half-assing some bathrooms. Like, oh, when you first see it, you think, oh, this is a beautiful bathroom. But you look close. Oh, there's some chips. Oh, there's some drywall problems. Oh, I can obviously tell this guy didn't know how to hang drywall and he fucked up on some places. Well, I want some money because I want a nice wall and I'm going to get that fixed. Or I'm going to have him fix it. And then on my final walkthrough, I'm going to look and make sure he fixes it. And I'm not going to close if he doesn't fix it. I'm going to extend my closing date and tell him, hey, you're in violation of our contract. You did not fix this. And we have it in writing.
Okay. How many beds, how many baths is it, if you don't mind me asking?
So it's 2 bed, 2 bath, or 3 bedroom, 2 bath.
I'll just try to see.
Yeah, and these places, the comps are going around $1,600 a month. I'll be able to rent this place out. I mean, mortgage is a little less than that, so we'll be able to get some cash flow. Not a lot, but we'll be able to get some.
For a room, $1,600. $1,600 for a room in Houston?
For this whole house.
Oh, but you're going to be there for a while.
Yep. So we're going to hit that 1 year that we have to be here by law. And then everyone knows it's been listening to this. My wife's trying to get into medical school here. But if we have to move to Dallas or Austin or whatever.
New Jersey.
Yep. The East Coast, the West Coast. We'll be able to rent this house out and get a little bit of cash flow and build that equity.
about that equity. So you guys aren't going to do like the house hacking strategy, get like a roommate in there, like a med school?
Probably not. We're not. I mean, if we're thinking about it, but sales have been a little constant. Using my GI Bill. We'll see if we need the extra cash. Yeah, I'll be down for it. We have a bedroom. We have a bathroom that we can all share. But as of right now, we don't need to.
Yeah, well, you do have a wife. You're in a
I
different.
do have a wife.
It's so
now,
funny.
if I was
Nick is
single,
like, Nick is like an adult. He doesn't have Wi-Fi, but he has a wife, a dog, like 2 jobs. He's in school full time, but no Wi-Fi
and a podcast.
and a podcast and a home now. Like it's crazy. Yep. We're homeowners.
Yeah, we're homeowners. Yeah, yep. And never sell. Just rent it out. Build that equity.
Oh yeah. Well, there's certain. I would say if you're in 2022, sell everything.
You're the guy that's saying that there's going to be a crash. I'm the guy that's saying that there won't be.
You don't think there's going to be a crash in the next?
Not even a little bit.
In the next 60 months, in the next 5 years, you tell me there's not going to be a crash. On what basis? Literally, give me the. Because I'll give you I'll go first and give you the reasons why I think there'll be a crash, and then you give me your reasons why you don't think there'll be a crash.
All right, sounds great.
My first reason, they lied about us being in recession, like a year ago, the Biden administration. So we're technically in a recession already. Mm-hmm. If this was
consecutive negative GDP,
yes, 2 quarters in a row negative GDP. So we're currently in a recession. 2, inflation is extremely high. 3, all the commercial real estate, like the building in Houston that I sent to you that was purchased in 2021 for $121 million and sold at auction for 12. You cannot tell me a piece of real estate dropped 99% in its value and tell me that we're not in a bubble situation, we're not on the precipice of a bubble. Housing prices have never been this high. Everything that it indicates turns that there has to be some sort of reset. Inflation is so incredibly high. And everyone knows inflation, the money does not trickle down like Reagan says. It goes to the people who own stocks, businesses, and real estate. If you have those 3 asset classes, inflation, all the money just channels up to them. So people are not making don't have as much disposable income. We're in a recession, and interest rates still remain high. Okay. Why don't you think there's an imminent threat?
So the high interest rates is to counter the high inflation.
But interests are not really that high. I got pre-approved for a loan for 6.5. To me, that's not very high.
No, you're absolutely right. I think mine was 6.8, and we bought points to bring that down. But compared to that 3%, it's pretty high.
But Nick, we've had this conversation. Don't bring up the 3% because that's a fake number. Tell me a time.
No, it's not going to happen again.
Tell me, other than COVID, 3% ever happened.
But we had
5 is a low interest rate in real life.
We had 3% because we had like 1.8% inflation, which a good number is 2%. So we had extremely low inflation. So we had extremely low interest rates. Now we have higher inflation. That means we must have higher interest rates, and that's exactly what we're having right now. If inflation goes up, interest rates will flow up. Now, if we see interest rates going down, inflation going up, then I'm on your side. I'm like, hey, something's not going right. Jerome Powell is
but inflation is still continues to go. That's why, think about it. The Fed itself, the motherfucking Fed who prints all this money, said we're going to drop interest rates 4 times this year. You know how many times they dropped interest rates? 0. So yes, we have high
because we have a high inflation.
Yes, so inflation is not going down with the interest rates, and they're talking about interest rates going down, not up. That is why I think there's going to be recession because all the.
But inflation must go down for interest rates to go down. If inflation goes up or stays the same, they're not going to drop it.
Yes, but they keep on saying everyone says they're going to drop it, but inflation continues to go up.
But they're not going to unless inflation goes down. They can stand up there and say whatever they want, but if the numbers if Congress keeps spending, Jerome Powell and the Fed, you're gonna have no choice but to even raise it or keep it up.
I don't trust Jerome Powell. I know he
I
went
don't
to
either.
Ivy League school.
I don't either.
I don't trust him as far as I could throw him. You know what I'm saying?
No,
I trust a 19-year-old drunk off his ass with a $2 bill to spend it more wisely than Jerome Powell.
I'm an Andrew Jackson fan.
How many
He
times
took on the second United States bank. Hey, we need someone to take on the Fed. So,
as a banker, I do not concur with that. Jerome Powell can suck a dick, though.
No. I said I'm an Andrew Jackson fan. He took on the second United States bank.
Nick, you're gonna get us canceled.
He took on the second United States bank and shut that shit down. We need somebody to shut down the Fed. So I'm all for that. But as of where we are right now, we have high inflation, high interest rates. So that's not good. But I'm saying they're balancing it out.
Nick,
the books
you claim to be
at least trying to be balanced. It's
you
not
claim
quite,
to be
but
a student of history. This is so eerily reminiscent to 73, 89,
you gotta refresh me on my history on
2005. This is eerily this is so.
I would say no.
Those times.
So I've talked to real estate agents who had their license in 2006, 2007, 2008, and compared to right now, I mean, these guys were just selling houses. I mean,
there was fraud.
Who cares?
Yes,
you already have
was
3 houses.
Fraud was a part
who cares? Yeah,
significant. As a someone with my MLO license,
mm-hmm.
It is so annoying to get a loan done.
Yeah,
because they go into everything. There's definitely, if there is fraud on a loan, you're freaking James Bond, because
yes,
7 people, I have to email 7 people to get something done.
Yeah,
honest to God.
Yeah.
So if there's one thing they did,
so I mean, it's totally different compared to the 2008 crash. I mean, the loan. If you take someone that was in banking in 2007 and put them in, it's totally different.
People are just as leveraged, and all the boomers are dying. So there's going to be a transfer of wealth. People are leveraged. Credit card debt has never been this high. I don't want to be a doom and gloom cat, but I'm not going to sit here as you can see dark skies ahead and be like, oh wait, yeah, we're already in a recession.
Yeah, I'm not going to say that we're not going to continue in some kind of recession, but there's not going to be a huge market crash like we saw in 2008.
This is my theory. It is almost inevitable that commercial real estate is going to experience a tremendous crash.
Oh, yeah, it already has.
Yes. Okay, thank you. And we saw in almost every crash, when everything's connected, think about it. How many people eat on your loan that you did? I'm sure your closing costs were pretty high, because I'm looking.
Oh, everyone eats.
Yes, everyone has to eat on a home. So if
the seller gets fucked,
if one major asset class goes down, you cannot tell me that's not going to affect other industries. As we just agreed, we're in a recession. So, if the commercial real estate takes a crap and we're in a recession, how does one real estate class take a dump not affect all the other classes when we're at sky high? The prices of homes have never been this high.
Yep. So office space, that completely collapsed. Industrial, that stayed relatively strong, especially during COVID. Why did office space crash?
Because of COVID and Zoom. And the reason why we're doing this podcast
Yep.
in Houston and me in Belmont, New Jersey.
Exactly.
But who owns all the commercial real estate? All the mid-tier banks. So all your First Trust portfolios, all your Ocean First. And you know what's going to happen when all those things down? So now all the mid-level, we're talking about a banking crisis, yada, yada. What happens? That's who owns all those asset classes. It's not JP Morgan Chase. It's not PNC Bank. It's all the middle market banks. So when that asset class collapses and all that stuff returns to the bank, the bank is now going to be insolvent, and now we're having a feeding frenzy. And now trust in the market goes down, dude. You can't tell me if one major asset, imagine, look at Detroit. The auto industry took a dump in the 80s. It took a dump in the 70s, and we had a rebound in the 80s. We really had never been the same. The middle class has really shrunk since we've not been an industrial revolution. we've had those discussions before. But you cannot look me in the eye and say one major asset class collapses does not hurt all the other asset classes, especially if it's real estate. Especially the people who own it or all the mid-tier banks. So what happens when all the mid-tier banks collapse?
You're exaggerating the premise.
Exaggerating the premise.
Yeah, you're starting off of a false premise and building on top of that. The commercial industry, the commercial real estate class is not going to collapse into a significant real estate downturn.
Okay, I can. If you're a mid-tier bank, a mid-cap bank, and you owned and you gave a loan to someone for $121 million, they defaulted on the loan, so you just lost, and you just lost $121 million, and someone's bought it at auction for 12. So you just are out $108 million in cash.
Are you saying that bank?
Yes, the people who are
the bank sold that loan, or the bank sells the loan to the third party.
Who's going to buy it?
Which then gets divided, and then you buy that on the stock market.
No, don't tell me that they just sold it because someone needs to buy it. Money just I know they print money out the wazoo, but you still need to sell it to someone who wants to purchase it. Money, $108 million was lost. That is a significant sum of money.
Oh yeah, no, I think there was
I don't want to belittle the Houston Point. Wheaton, Illinois, where I was born and raised, they built the Wheaton Towers. It was supposed to be like an $80 million project. It's changed hands 3 times. Each owner has taken a $10 million hit on it.
Oh yeah, that's what happens.
Yes. Oh, don't say, "Oh yeah, me." When people are losing $10 million on the commercial real estate, eventually the middle class has to pay for it.
Yeah. People take losses.
That's why
But when someone takes a loss, other people take a win.
People are not putting gutters on roofs like lazy assholes.
That's always been a thing.
Things over, and people are losing $10 million at the rapid rate. Oh, but we're not going to have a freaking crash. We're in a recession. Credit card debt is at its all-time high. People are losing hundreds of millions of dollars in Houston. Freaking people not even putting gutters on homes in America. We're not putting.
It's always happened. It's always a thing.
What are we, East Berlin? What are we? We're supposed to.
It sounds like it.
Put a gutter on a home. I want to go to this person and slap him up. I was like, "Who is your NCO? Who taught you how to flip? Not putting a gutter on a home?"
Oh no! I'm 100% with you.
How do we live? Like, don't look me in the eye and tell me this is good and great if people are too lazy to put a fucking gutter on a home. My Polish ass will put a gutter on a home. Just out of respect for the next dude. Like,
no, I 100% agree with you.
The golden rule. Jesus Christ. Treat others how you want to be treated. What, would it spray cabinets like an asshole?
Oh, people do that. It never sells.
Then why do it?
I don't know.
Oh, it never sells.
First time.
They too.
First time flipper.
What are you talking about? If we're do all this BS, lazy ass shit, complacency kills, Nick. You know better than anyone.
Complacency kills. 100%.
They
take the path of least resistance.
That's horrible. That's horrible. I have no respect. Like, as an East Coast cat, I have no respect for the Midwest, and now I have no respect for Texas. Don't tread on my balls.
It happens all across the country. It's
horrible. What was it? What's the Texas saying with the cannon? What does that say? You know what I'm talking about when they fought against the Spaniards, they had the cannon.
Remember the Alamo?
You know the flag with the star?
The Alamo?
Yes, the Alamo. You know it was the battle before the Alamo. You know, it's a flag with the star and the cannon. Nick, don't play dumb with me. Don't play coy.
I don't know what you're talking
about.
Look it up.
Let me look it up right now. Don't.
No, but there's a lot of pages that people can follow about how to flip houses and stuff like that. And there was this one dude, and he made a comment of, "Oh, I never put gutters on a house." And this isn't just a Texas guy. This is like
come and take it. Come and take my nutsack, Texas. I have no respect for your processes or your customs and courtesies. Yes, I know. I met people from Texas. They're a bunch of crybabies, mama boys. You can take your bullshit dip. Oh, Everyone we know from Texas was a crybaby. They're all bitches, except for like a handful of people. Shout out Mac.
Oh, so they're not. So they're
Shout
not.
out Mac. I love Mac. I don't want to come at Mac. But if you're from Texas, go fuck yourself. I have no respect for your customs and courtesy.
All right, Jersey.
You can take your bullshit Southern accents, wannabe,
All right,
and
Guido.
your gay little horse, and ride it to fucking nowhere where there's no gutters. I'm so pissed about these gutters things, Nick. I cannot tell you.
It happens all around the country, bro.
No, this is a Texas issue. I declare this is a Tejas issue. You want to be fucking crybabies. Everyone from Texas, oh, I'm so big and bad. I got my dip in. Dude, we were in freaking Hawaii and you had a tucked in shirt, cowboy boots on, a belt buckle. You look like a fucking jackass. Your custom and courtesies are pathetic.
That's definitely like
pathetic.
Old South people. That's like old South people.
There's a reason why the North came and kicked their ass. The South will rise again. Yeah, right. Put a gutter on a roof.
I 100% agree.
Nick, do you have anything else to add? I think I'm done ranting. Fuck you.
Yes.
I'm going to change this to Fuck You, Texas is the name of this program, this episode.
It is the greatest state in the country.
Yeah, right. No way. Come to New Jersey. We'll show you how to really live.
With the Guidos?
Do we have everyone. We definitely don't have crybaby. We do have Italian mama's boys, so we do have that as well.
Yeah, a little bit of everything.
There's nothing worse than if I want to go to a ride.
Yeah. One more thing. Have fun paying for your beaches.
You've never been to a Jersey beach before. Dude, you live in Houston. I went to Houston. Dude, that was the worst city I've ever been to. It was
you said you liked it. You're just saying this for the pod.
It was humid as hell.
Oh, yeah.
It was like a third world country.
Come in the winter.
I'd rather live in Manila.
Manila?
Manila, Philippines is a better city than that third world country with all your fake Texas tough. Come and take my ass, bitch.
It wasn't
stupid ass cannon. The Alamo was dumb.
Hey, I'm from Minnesota, but Texas is the best. Okay. Texas is the best.
Yeah, Texas is the best. I'm officially a Texas hater.
It's a bummer. I gotta cancel you now.
Yeah, we're definitely
abnomish.
We definitely are gonna get canceled for this episode. Nick, do you have anything more to add?
Yeah. Have fun with the tollways all around the East Coast.
So Nick, as usual, has limited to add. God bless. Thank you. Thank you for listening. God bless. Have a good rest of your day.